I roll up in my I totally belong here polo and rent the cheapest bucket of balls like I'm about to fix my slice and not my marriage. Ninth hole overlooks the walking path of poor decisions. That's where I spot them. Andrea and Tom the bored cantaloupe, fingers laced like two teenagers who discovered hand-holding on a TED Talk. Andrea's laugh is dialed to influencer. Tom's head shines like a helmet you could see from a satellite. They pause at the little bridge and do the "we're just colleagues" lean that screams, "We are absolutely not just colleagues." My inner narrator whispers, "Please trip. Not a big fall, just a karma wobble." I line up a shot I have no intention of hitting and watch the reflection on my club head. There it is. Andrea's hand on his forearm, a second too long. Then an over-the-shoulder hug that lives in the zip code of HR training videos. I mutter, "Nice swing," and whiff the ball so hard I invent a new sport called air golf. From the terrace above the ninth, Susan watches like a falcon with a martini. Steel spine, calm mouth. Her eyes are doing forensic analysis. She's not blinking. She's bookmarking. Our gazes meet. I do the world's smallest nod. She tilts her glass a millimeter. Truce signed. Treaty pending. Enter the starter, a man whose clipboard is sentient. He materializes at my elbow and whispers like we're in church. "You see what I see? Sir, you sell tea times, not confessionals." I clutch my back and groan. Oof, old injury. Because nothing shuts down golf talk like a lumbar spasm. He backs off, torn between gossip and liability. I retreat to the pro shop, which smells like leather money. That's where I meet Diane. Not meet cute. Meet clarity. She's by the counter returning a visor that offended her principals. Tall, composed, eyes like a scalpel. The pro says, "Miss Harrison, your receipt," and my brain files it under. Divorce attorney whose Yelp reviews read like war medals. I open with, "Hypothetical question," like a man asking a firefighter about candles. She does not smile. Not yet. "Hypothetically," I say, "if a spouse asked for ethical non-monogamy and then treated the ethics like garnish?" Diane raises one eyebrow a fraction, which in lawyer means continue. I give her the PG-13 version, shared calendar, transparency app, metadata choir. She says, "Collect quietly. No hero moves. Heroes bleed." I nod like I've been benched by the coach I needed since birth. Outside, Andrea texts, "Tapas again tonight. Don't wait up." Tapas is doing heavy lifting. I forward the message to my evidence folder titled "Not Tacos" and head to the terrace. Susan is at her table, phone face down, which is code for I already have the screenshots. I slide into the chair across from her like a man ordering an alibi. "Afternoon," I say. "Lovely day for philanthropy." She doesn't bother with pleasantries. "How long?" she asks, eyes on the ninth bridge. 90 days of winks," I answer. 2 years of vibes," she counters. We breathe. She sets down her glass like a gavel. "I'm not your ally," she says. "I'm my outcomes ally." "Same," I say. That earns me a ghost of a smile, the kind that says we can do business. I keep it clean. No show and tell, just the scent of receipts. She taps her phone. "Gala is in 3 weeks. Everyone will be there. Board, donors, photographers, the band that's too loud." She slides a folded paper across, guest list with notes. Little arrows connect names like a conspiracy corkboard. "Rumor map," she says. "Find your timing." I feel my cortex throw confetti. On my way out, the starter tries again. "You didn't hear this from me," he whispers, leaning so far his visor squeaks. But Tom's been booking practice rounds after hours. My back flares in the universal dialect of "shut up." "Sciatica," I wince. He recoils, mutters a prayer to Titleist, and scurries. Back home, Diane returns my hypothetical. "If you're serious," she says, "we stage discovery. No theatrics. Let her sprint. You build the trail." I ask for a plan. She says, "Paper, texts, location, shared devices consent, and when the moment comes, clinical, not cruel." I look at the garlic dish and salute. Open loop time. What's Diane's bigger strategy? She's playing chess on a board I thought was a brunch table. I'm just the guy who finally learned the opening move. Keep the receipts and let the country club do the gossiping for free. The trial weekend. She runs, I set traps. The trial weekend kicked off like a festival nobody asked to headline. Andrea kissed my cheek Friday at 5:58 p.m., whispering, "Tapas with Jenna, I'll be late," which is Spanish for I packed heels and a decoy alibi. She rolled out with a rolling suitcase the size of commitment issues. I waved like a supportive husband and then romantically lit my spreadsheet. My date night, pizza, a lukewarm IPA, and a laptop that purrs when evidence loads. I opened my Not Tacos folder, started an encrypted screen record, and queued up public info polls like a suburban spy thriller. Meanwhile, her transparency app pinged boutique hotel so hard the map developed blush. Router dashboard showed a fresh DHCP lease to front desk iPad 3 on my guest network via WPS, which I never turned on, thanks manufacturer, and my syslog caught a WPA2 handshake from a device with OUI registered to Sony. At 6:41 p.m., she broke Rule 1, disclose within 24 hours. It had been 43 minutes and 0 tapas disclosures unless the hotel lobby had rebranded as Spain. I screenshotted with the care of a wedding photographer. At 7:12 p.m., Rule 2 snapped, no emotion entanglements. A text to Tom Reed, missed you this week. I love a cocktail emoji acting like a therapist. By 8:03 p.m., Rule 3 face planted, no club overlaps. Her dot slid from the boutique to the side entrance of the country club, right where the back door keeps secrets. The staff iPad hopped on our guest network 2 minutes later. DHCP lease 192.168.1.47, host name front desk iPad 3. Max starting with DC 52 to 85. Impressive for something that should be chained to a podium in another zip code. My phone buzzed. Andrea, no drama this weekend, okay? I replied, of course. Radical serenity. She sent a heart. I sent a thumbs up. That meant I just added another tab to her scrapbook. Meanwhile, my own calendar politely asked if I wanted to go out. I told it our love is efficient. I queued FOIA-lite searches, verified Tom's charity schedule, and ran public court records on Brad from the yoga studio. Fun fact, Yoga Brad is named Bradley, but the county clerk calls him Bradley with a jet ski. At 9:26 p.m., Andrea sent me a photo of a tapas plate like peace talks with olives. EXIF timestamp, 10:02 p.m. in a suite with incandescent lighting and a TV reflecting a blazer. My spreadsheet sighed. I added a column called Olive Lies because naming things calms me down. Midnight, she toggled airplane mode for self-care. My transparency app, unfazed, recorded a jump to the hotel's 7th floor and a dwell time that says cardio. I logged it, ate cold pizza, and whispered, ethics. Saturday morning, I brewed coffee like testimony. She texted, spa day, at 9:01 a.m. At 9:06, the router welcomed Sony A7932 again. New DHCP lease, same Mac, different host name because he toggled airplane mode like a ninja. The photographer's camera loves our Wi-Fi like it's on retainer. I labeled him Tripod with Feelings. At 11:22, Venmo chimed, OJ to Tom, eggplant choir included. She adored the produce aisle. I added a note. Emoji laundering is still laundering. Noon check-in. Per our rules, we did friendly transparency. I asked, any updates I should know? She did a hair flip and said, just tapas and sleep. I said cute, and quietly attached location logs like tiny judge gavels. Saturday afternoon, she added yoga with Brad to the shared calendar, a block from a hotel with mood lighting. EXIF on the selfie she posted at the studio showed tungsten lighting, not daylight, and a TV reflection of ESPN. Namaste, Marriott. She also added a meditation emoji. I added a paternity emoji in my mind and went back to my spreadsheet. By sunset, she'd completed the trifecta. Tom, photographer, who keeps logging in like a landlord, and Yoga Brad, who is allergic to shirts. She texted, love you, don't wait up. I replied, sleep well. The router wrote a haiku about betrayal and hotel ice machines. Sunday dawned with Andrea posting a boomerang. Clink, glow. Caption, we're doing the work. The EXIF laughed. My pizza box agreed. She rolled home at noon looking like a vacation brochure, dropped a kiss on my hair, and said, how was your weekend? I said, productive, which is dad code for I laminated your chaos. She broke 3 rules by breakfast. I didn't gloat. I archived. Diane texted, now we start chess. I texted back a single pawn. She replied with a queen. My router purred. The garlic dish, still soaking, looked proud. The social proof flip. Friends, group chats, receipts. Couple friends went neutral the way Switzerland does when they're secretly selling chocolate-covered missiles. Everyone suddenly loved boundaries and staying out of it, until I started sanding those boundaries with screenshots. Not blasting, just strategic indoor plumbing. A gentle leak. I picked the right people. Matt, who treats receipts like baseball cards. Priya, who runs on ethics and oat milk. I slid them proof that didn't need narration. The calendar overlap, the IGSIF pop, the OJ with thirst emojis. I wrote one sentence. I'm fine. Working it. Matt replied with 27 popcorn gifs. Priya sent, I'm here. Do you need a couch or holy water? The group chat we share with two other couples had been quiet since Andrea soft-launched ethical non-monogamy, like a seasonal latte. Then a message dropped from Andrea's bestie, Claire. So proud of Andrea for choosing herself. The chat asked nothing, because cowardice has read receipts. I dropped a single image, the transparency map with boutique hotel blinking like Rudolph. Then I typed, her choice, my consequences. I'm choosing documentation. Dead silence. Then our friend Leo finally squeaked, Bro, that was the whole message. Pulitzer stuff. Claire tried to pivot. Love is complicated. I replied, math isn't, and added the Venmo eggplant choir. The vibe shifted like a DJ hit the wrong button. Two people left the chat so fast their avatars smoked. Meanwhile, Andrea was soft launching me as the insecure husband who couldn't expand. She posted a story with a quote about cages and wings, which is adorable if you're a parakeet. I didn't clap back. I posted a photo of my pizza and a spreadsheet, captioned, expanding columns. The comments became a Rorschach test. People who knew sent me knife and heart emojis like a cooking show for revenge. Breathing room. I tried my own single attempts. Spoiler, I'm a dad in training with an early bedtime and the flirting style of a parking meter. I registered for an app. My profile looked like a tax form. First match asked my love language. I said, multi-part PDF. Second match said, what's your star sign? I said, router. I took myself off the market for the public good. Backstage, the competitive tension rose. Who tells the club first, me or Scandal with a jetpack? The rumor mill started coughing. A bartender DM'd me. You didn't hear this from me, which means I absolutely did, but Tom's bar tab is carbonated adultery. I thanked them with an emoji that looked like a restraining order. I kept my cadence. Drip, don't dump. I seated neutral, reliable folks with time-stamped facts. I never asked them to choose sides. I invited them to choose math. People love math when drama is exhausting. Then the moment, Susan, we've been passing each other like submarines, pinging. She texted, coffee. We met at the club cafe where the staff pours gossip with foam art. She placed a folder between us, neat as origami. Inside, the Gala guest list annotated like a war map. Arrows, circles, names with don't tell first notes. She murmured, you want your reveal to hit the right ears in the right order. We are not messy, we are precise. I slid her my condensed packet. The map, the logs, the mirror ring, no commentary. She scanned, jaw steady, eyes moving like a scanner app. When she hit the Apple TV alert, her nostrils did a tiny flare that read as yikes in Morse. She closed the folder. I don't need to be your friend, she said evenly. I need to be done. I nodded. Same. She slid me a rumor map addendum, handwritten. Who whispers to whom? Who lives to broadcast? Who secretly records? A bingo card of human microphones. We didn't toast. We didn't scheme aloud. We acknowledged wind direction. When we stood, we had a choreography. She would hand me the gala's pressure points. I would keep it clinical. No fireworks, no blood, just gravity doing its job. That afternoon, the group chat pinged again. Andrea's soft launch escalated to, he's controlling. I replied with a single screenshot, her signature under disclosure within 24 hours. Then I typed, I'm not controlling you. I'm controlling my exit. Claire left the chat. Leo sent bro again, but longer. Matt pasted a calendar invite. Popcorn, Friday, 7 p.m. Susan and I had our map. Diane had the law. My router had the choir. The club had the megaphone. The only thing left was timing and a microphone that would not shake in my hand. The legal nuke prep, strategy with Diane. Diane's office smelled like paper revenge and lemon. No diplomas on the wall, just a single plant that looked like it could cross-examine you. She motioned to the chair. I sat like a defendant who brought a charcuterie board. Start with facts, she said. No adjectives. I opened my binder, tabs so crisp they whistled. Router logs, EXIF polls, calendar overlaps. Venmo produced theater. Diane scanned, expression flat. The legal version of a heartbeat monitor. Objective, she said, tapping the table. We are not staging catharsis. We are staging compliance. We win with boring. I nodded so hard my neck filed a complaint. She laid out the plan like she'd done this before on a yacht. 1. Post-nup breaches. You have signatures, rules, timestamps. 2. Community property leverage. We identify marital funds used to subsidize top ass with benefits. 3. Reputational guardrails. Club Morals Clause gives us optics leverage without public mud wrestling. I raised a hand like I was in night school for chaos. Define guardrails? She blinked. No tweets, no speeches, no scenic monologues unless I hand you the microphone. If it isn't in an exhibit, it doesn't exist. I slid her my rule break bingo. She paused at the color legend, the faintest smirk landing like a snowflake. You made adultery a board game, she said, proud of you and alarmed. We staged discovery like a heist, where the vault is common sense. Texts, she said, captured with headers and date stamps. Location data, exported and notarized if we can. Shared devices policy, document her consent again. She dictated a list. I typed so fast my keyboard turned into an air fryer. Next, she continued, financial bleed. We freeze joint cards, open a solo account, and set a fraud alert gentle as a church bell. Not punitive, protective. Your tone with her. Calm librarian who found a chainsaw in the children's section. I asked about the gala. We need a venue, she said, where service is unavoidable and the narrative is preloaded. She sketched a flowchart. Cocktail hour, MC, donation, serve, exit. You deliver one sentence, then we let phones do the improvisation. I swallowed. My parents, I said. They still think we're Pinterest. Face, she replied, softening 0.5 millimeter. We preserve it. You tell them first, privately, with dignity. We're separating. I wish her well. No spicy notes. She handed me a homework list. Confirm chain of custody on every digital asset. Screenshots alone are cosplay. We export originals, keep devices in airplane mode, and back up to a drive that has never seen TikTok. I confessed my binder almost got caught. She called it a budget planner, I said. Diane nodded. Then let's make it one. Insert a page with grocery coupons. If she peeks again, she gets produce and boredom. We rehearsed my lines like a hostage movie, but with better lighting. At the gala, she said, you congratulate without accusation. You donate to values without pointing fingers. The bailiff serves. You don't look at Tom. You don't look at Susan. You look at the MC, thank the room, and leave. Clinical. What about Andrea's inevitable tornado? I asked. She'll cycle, Diane said. Begging, blaming, bargaining. Your script is one sentence. Please speak to my attorney. Then you feed the pets. Judges love pets. I cleared my throat. I don't actually want to destroy her, I said, surprising myself. I want out with dignity. I'd like to keep the house. She can have the lease and the brunch throne. Perfect, she said. We're not here to salt the earth. We're here to draw a boundary and permanent marker. We addressed the club angle. Morals clause, she said. Not a legal cudgel, a social one. If they suspend her committee role, that's gravity, not you. We don't request it. We simply stop holding up the ceiling. She closed the binder, plant watching like a paralegal. Last rule, she said. You don't get high on your own righteousness. Boring men win. Be oatmeal. Oatmeal, I echoed. Steel cut, she added. I left with a checklist, a neutral face, and a manila envelope that hummed like judgment in a cardigan. Outside, my phone buzzed. Andrea. Gala theme, Stardust. I texted back, copy. Diane texted, we're green. My router purred. The garlic dish blinked good luck. The dark side reveal, health, money, and loyalty. The first crack in the vibe came from a lab coat. Andrea's doctor visit was supposed to be about hormones, which, sure, mine are rage and coffee. Then an email lands in our shared inbox from the clinic with a subject line that sounds like a nightclub. Comprehensive STD panel results available. I'm stirring pasta like it insulted my lineage, and my laptop pings with a PDF named after both of us because she reused the intake email like a coupon. I click. I read. I blink in 3 languages. There it is. Positive for something that requires a pamphlet and a stern nurse. Not apocalypse, but not tapas. My stomach does parkour. I text, we need to talk. She replies, in a meeting. I forward the PDF with the subject, your meeting is contagious. She comes home in a storm that blames the weather. Why did you open my medical email? Because it came to our shared inbox, Andrea, like a chain letter from reality. She pivots faster than a startup. This is your fault. Stress lowers immunity. Ah, yes. The well-known stress-transmitted disease. I don't yell. I point to the signatures under testing required before contact. She scans, then launches a Hail Mary. This is why we needed openness, to be honest about needs. Honesty would have been telling me before you turned our marriage into a health class video. I make appointments, for both of us. I drive. I hold the door. I let the nurse swab dignity. I pick up meds. I label them with washi tape, because if we're going to heal, we're doing it cute. While we're applying ointment to humility, money decides to join the conga line. My phone buzzes with fraud alerts. The joint card pings for subscription wellness apps that apparently deliver enlightenment every month for $39.99, and a man named Brad in a tank top. Cash withdrawals start waltzing in 3s. A secret credit card appears like a magician pulling a rabbit from my credit score. I log into our accounts with the calm of a librarian. There's a Bloom account I didn't know we were blooming. There's a self-care subscription that charges extra for premium streams. If it's not a river, Andrea, cancel it. I freeze credit, set fraud alerts, forward statements to Diane with the subject line, tapas ain't free. Saturday morning, she tries to brunch her way through it at a place with $19 toast and a wait list that needs a congressional hearing. Tap. Decline. Tap harder. Declined. The server leans in with the sympathy of a debt collector. Would you like to try another? She deploys card 2 with a flourish. Declined so loud the square reader said, girl. Manager materializes wearing a lanyard and disappointment. We can split the check? He offers, like a hostage negotiator. Andrea, eyes wide, texts me from the table like a captive at a croissant factory. Did you freeze the card? I reply, we're moving to protective budgeting. She responds, you're punishing me. I say, I'm protecting the mortgage from your mojitos. The table next to her, slow, turns like a nature documentary. She signs a paper receipt like it's a police report and leaves a cash tip that contains all her remaining dignity and 3 singles. The mood in the house shifts from curated to clinical. She paces. She accuses. You're vindictive. No, I'm elastic. You tugged. I snapped back. I feed the pets, because loyalty in this home has names and whiskers. Then the loyalty test no one asked for. A late-night text thread surfaces like a submarine. Andrea's phone blinks on the counter. A message preview from Yoga Brad says, if it's mine, I'll step up. Mine. A word that evacuates air from lungs. Another ping. Could be Tom's. My soul calls IT and asks to be unplugged and plugged back in. I stare at the ceiling, the drywall suddenly heavy with choices. She finds me on the couch, blue lit by shock. We need to talk, I say, my voice the sound a bridge makes before it collapses. She perches, lashes battling gravity. I'm late, she whispers, as if the calendar is the villain. I nod. We'll do a test. She nods. For once, there's no influencer speak, just 2 people in a room, counting math they didn't plan. The next day, drugstore checkout beeps like a heart monitor. Back home, plastic wand, timer, silence that makes the cat leave. 2 lines bloom like a cruel magic trick. She cries. I stand. I'm both porch and thunder. We book a doctor. We schedule a paternity test, which is the worst baby shower theme. Diane texts, breathe, document, no statements. Susan texts, Gala is Friday. My life becomes a calendar filled with nouns I never wanted to share space. Andrea tries a soft plea. We can fix this. I hear the nurse's voice in my head reading lab results. I hear Venmo singing produce. I hear Brad typing, Tom breathing, Susan sharpening. I go quiet, not the silent treatment. The quiet of a man who put the facts in rows and saw the word exit appear. I tuck the pets in. I check the locks. I set the coffee for morning. Then I stare at the ceiling and tell the plaster the same sentence. The gala, I'll tell the room on Friday. Private war. Congratulations. The gala looked like a guilt receipt with chandeliers. Sequins everywhere, like anxiety had a dress code. I put on my best, nothing to see here face and a tux that said, I pay my taxes early. Andrea glided in wearing sparkle armor and a smile that had been media trained by lies. Tom hovered 2 steps behind, a decorative lamppost with cholesterol. People air-kissed like they were dodging subpoenas. The MC warmed up the crowd by thanking donors for funding a wing named after a man who once confused philanthropy with bottle service. Diane sat 2 tables back, expression neutral, lipstick lethal. She didn't wave. She didn't have to. Her calm reached me like Wi-Fi in a bunker. Andrea tried to link arms. I floated my champagne hand between us like a velvet rope. We need to align our greetings, she whispered. We need to not trip, I whispered back, smiling for cameras that love mess. Susan arrived in navy with a pearl that might have been a weapon. She air-kissed Andrea so gently, it registered as a warning shot. Tom touched Andrea's shoulder, 2 beats too long. The photographer caught it. You could hear the rumor mill start its engines. I made the rounds. The board chair asked about my quarter like we were both pretending money has feelings. Strong, I said. Diversified. Heavily invested in receipts. He laughed because rich people think everything is a metaphor. I laughed because I wanted breath to not feel expensive. At the silent auction, Andrea pretended to bid on a Tuscany package while texting like she was steering a drone strike. My phone buzzed with a reminder, serve at MCQ. The bailiff, disguised as man whose suit fits better than his job title, blended near the stage, holding paperwork like a prayer. Survival counter. Andrea cornered me near the ice sculpture of a swan melting into a chicken. Can we align our narrative before remarks? She asked, voice dipped in PR. Our narratives don't share a Google Doc, I said, picking a safe shrimp. She inhaled, eyes flicking to cameras. Smile, she hissed. I did, because dentistry is forever. The band vamped something jazzy. The MC took the mic and did the thank yous that sound like a roll call for people who name their boats after vices. Across the room, Diane sipped water like it was admissible. Susan folded a napkin with judge-level precision. Tom did that laugh men do when their ship is on fire and they're networking with the flames. I took a breath and checked my pocket. 1 line printed on a small card, not for reading, just for courage. Diane's text earlier, clinical, do not narrate, leave. I put the card back. I slipped a manila envelope to Susan mid-toast. She slid it under her program without looking. Her wine didn't move. Tom glanced, saw nothing, felt everything. His posture developed a tax audit. The MC said my name for the tribute. Applause warmed, confused. Andrea squeezed my arm, fingers whispering, say the script. I rose like a man going to the front of the class with a volcano that actually erupts. At the podium, I smiled into 1,000 teeth. Congratulations to my wife, I said, steady, on our growing family. The room inhaled like it had 1 lung. Forks hovered. Someone's laugh died mid-birth. And tonight, I added, a donation in honor of fidelity and truth. The band pretended to tune. The lights became curious. The bailiff floated forward, soft as cloud cover. Tap on Andrea's elbow. You've been served. Envelopes bloomed best under chandeliers. Screens woke up like morning glories. Group chats chose violence. Susan stood. Tom shrank to travel size. I kept it boring, clinical. No thesis, no victory lap. Just a nod to the MC, a thank you for all you do. and a path to the exit that respected the fire code and my blood pressure. Andrea hissed my name like a brand new swear. I handed my champagne to a waiter with the face of a man who's seen worse and stepped into the cool hallway air that smelled like expensive panic. My hands didn't shake. My spine remembered its job. Behind me, applause tried to decide what it meant. Phones decided for them. Public smile. Private war concluded. Outside, the night felt like a receipt with zero balance. I texted Diane. Done. She replied with a period, which from her is a parade. I walked to my car, loosened my tie, and let the quiet climb in. The pager in my pocket, metaphorical and legal, finally stopped buzzing.